I'm Zach Miller. I'm the owner-operator of Miller Cattle here in Logansport, Indiana. We background cattle, do some custom feeding, and I raise and train stock dogs as well. My brother and I bought this place back in April of 21. There's 270 acres here that sit continuous on the farm. When we first started then, we had about 60 head of cows, raised some alfalfa, did some small squares. Since then, we've evolved. We don't do the hay anymore. We just run feeders, fatten some cattle, and also do cow-calf pairs. We started out small, running a few hundred head of feeders. Today, at capacity, we run about 600 head at a time. We probably turn 12 to 1,500 head a year through here. My grandpa woke up every day and fed cattle, and I got to do that with him some, and Dad did the same thing and still does. They both do. Grandpa's in his 80s and still gets up every day and feeds cattle, and he has a desire and a passion for that, and that's where I got that. And it was passed down to my dad, and then it was passed down to me and my brother, and it's a family business that we've done for generations, and we grew up loving it and doing it, and I guess we've just continued on through that. We do everything horseback. I raise and train stock dogs, so that's kind of something unique, not everybody does that. So whenever we're working cattle or do anything like that, it's all on horseback with dogs. We really love that way of doing things. We can handle the cattle, you get a group of cattle dog broke and horse broke, and they'll eat out of your hand sometimes. And I think that plays a big role in backgrounding cattle and starting fresh cattle and just getting them in a relaxed environment where they feel at home, and I can handle all of my pens. I can handle large groups of cattle with just me on horseback and a couple dogs. It doesn't take a lot of people to do it, where I'm just kind of by myself or with my brother at times. It saves us on labor. We get up, I like to feed early. After we feed, I usually saddle my horse and we go ride pens and doctor cattle. I like to do that first thing. That's a very critical part. Going through fresh pens and fresh cattle, we're pushing up to water and feed, making sure they find out how to be on their own and independent. When we buy these high-risk calves, they're coming off their mom. They don't really know life on their own, so babying them, pushing them to feed, to water, stuff like that. And after feeding and health is done, moving on and just doing day-to-day tasks, whether that's building fence, hauling manure, chopping hay for feeding, taking care of cattle just in general. You might have some other things that need done there. When we first started, it was all pen and paper and Microsoft Excel, and that took a lot of time. I felt like I was double entering things and stuff like that, and it just took a lot of my time up, doing a lot of book work after hours and taking away from family time. And I was listening to a podcast one day, and they advertised performance beef, and I looked into it, and at that time we had just started custom feeding for some people, and I thought it was maybe a route we needed to take, and so we signed up and we got on the program with them, and I tell you, that's changed the operation from a management standpoint as far as record keeping. Performance beef takes care of all my feed inventory, all my medicine inventory, doctoring, out on horseback. I can just pull their app up, I tag in, put the tag number in of the calf and the group it was in, and I can put in it was doctored, and it all goes straight to the cloud immediately, and I don't have to worry about record keeping or losing my records or anything like that. Feeding, every time you feed, it just automatically records that, which at the end of the month, custom feeding wise, it's awesome because it creates invoices for us. So I can just send an invoice out right then and there, and there's not a whole lot of paperwork and a lot of behind the scenes action with that. Performance beef has taken a lot of that off of my plate, and it's been awesome for being able to have more time to spend with the family after hours and being able to just focus on the things I need to focus on, taking care of the cattle and just doing the day-to-day things. I can pull up a closeout of a group of pin and I know exactly where I'm at, you know, as of today. I mean, it automatically enters all that stuff in for me immediately. It's a lot of information that I need at my fingertips. It just helps my operation move forward on a day-to-day basis. I want to build a brand that if my kids do want to come back in the operation, that it's sustainable for generations to come. Because I mean, I'm fourth generation, and if there's an opportunity for another generation behind me and so forth to go on, it's about building that brand, keeping that brand, and hopefully leaving a legacy of that brand that can continue on through further generations through the family. I'm very privileged and honored to be able to continue the generational brand, you know, from my family as a fourth generation cattle guy, and I would just love to be able to pass that on to my kids if they would like to.